exposure wasn't perfect. It wasn't as sharp as you liked. My background is electro-optical physics. And one of the first things I learned is you can't make a photograph sharper. Photox does it 4 different ways, and every one of them has infinite adjustment along the way on several parameters. So what I knew was true isn't true any longer, and I'm very glad of that. Let's go into Photox, which we had not long ago. By the way, for my friend who's just got onto Ubuntu with a Mac, I am holding down I'm not sure how it works on a Mac. On mine, it's the Alt button. I'm holding it down, and I'm tapping Tab. And when I do, I put up all the active programs I have loaded, and I step through between them. If I have one program that has 4 windows open, I'll be able to step through those also, this way. And when I land on the one I want, I think that camera is the one I want for this, I let go. And I'm back in Photox. And so the job of Photox is A, to catch your photos and put them where you can find them. B, to edit your photos to make them better than you found them. And C, to display your photos. And D, to manage all of that in a very smooth, fairly consistent way, although they're very different jobs in many places. What I've done here is in Ubuntu, the leftmost column, you don't see the rest, you see it as the leftmost column, good, is called the launcher. In the launcher, you get to start some application icon buttons. You click on it and you get the application. It loads for you. But you can move them up and down according to your preference. You can take them off, and you can put on any other ones you want. You don't put all your applications up there, because some of them you only use once every 2 months. You put up there the ones you're using regularly. The very top icon on it will find you all the other ones anytime you tap it. And this is showing me one line for each of 3 different flavors, and I can open up each line and see more. So if I want to see applications, I can fill the whole screen with applications. And the point is, I don't want them all on the launcher. I've got too much on my launcher already, but I demonstrate lots of things. But it's yours. It's like an artist's palette. You put on the colors you're using now, and maybe a few others you're pretty sure you'll be using soon. So that's the concept. What Photox does when it loads is it adds a second bar next to that one, and that's the one you see. Oh, what is this? Oh, I see, I'm still in the dash. Let me close the dash. Gonzo. And the second vertical bar is special for Photox. It's not that common in Linux or in Ubuntu. I see it mostly with Photox, just in parallel to the other one. And it's a whole set of tools just for the one program. I like that it's there. I use a widescreen, and I'd much rather give up columns on the left than whole lines taking up a much lesser vertical space. So I like that arrangement. You can put either of them on the bottom, or et cetera, if you prefer. But that seems to be the nice way to do it in my experience. So I'm doing it. Up at the top of the list are some general mode settings. The very top one says current image file, paren, key F. That means I can click here to get back to the current image file, or I can just hit the F key to get back to it. Either one will work. Sometimes one's a lot handier than the other, depending on what else you're doing at the time. Right under it is the reason it's there, an alternate way to look, which is a thumbnail gallery. You won't see the pictures, you'll see little hints of pictures in rows and columns. How many rows and columns? You can change the size and change that on the fly anytime you like. So if I click it, I get a gallery. If I want to see those a little bigger, fewer of them at a time, I do that. If I want to see them a little smaller and more at a time, I do that. Very responsive, very easy to go back and forth. And anytime I see one I like, I just touch it, and I've got it. So it's very easy to look through 1,000 pictures quickly, get to the part you want, and go right, zoom in to the detail you want. And by the way, this is Jill at the garden show this spring a few months ago. They'd like to sell you this lovely garden house, which has a round hole in wall. And I said, a round hole in one wall? Ooh. And I was right. Made for a nice photograph. This is a problem photograph. This is a photograph where it's bright out there and pitch black inside. Charlotte, you want to hear this one. Charlotte?
Yes.
Charlotte?
Yes.
You want to hear this one. This is looking at an almost black wall on the inside of a bright hole outside with this bright stage lighting that a garden show is going to have. And I was lucky I collect things. An example of a thing is this. Look close. On the right, you can see a guy taking a photograph of the couple. And on the left, there's a lady looking back at them and admiring it. This is a photograph. So it's a thing. But the point is, I was able to bring up the dark wall to the degree that I wanted. I still wanted it darker, so it was brighter out there. But it was almost pitch black. And I was able to do this despite the fact, for